In the most non-suicidal way, I no longer want to live the life that I'm currently living. I read those words on a social media post, and y'all, it resonated with me so deeply in my spirit. I would have liked to respond to the woman, but I lost the post. But here's the thing. I've been there more times than I'd like to admit. And I'd like to share, if that is you, whether you're listening to me or whether you're someone else who says, that hit home for me, I want to tell you, I see you, I hear you, I feel you. You're not broken. You are becoming. This is just simply a threshold moment. This is your spirit saying something is out of alignment and I can't keep pretending. And I want to share 6 or so mindset shifts and actions that helped me as well as my clients tremendously so you can move out of feeling stuck. What's good, party people? It's your girl, Candia, my Candid Conversations peeps. I've been going for a minute, but I'm back with the jump off. Listen, a Lil Kim lyric will always find its place in an episode. Not always, but we are here to talk about this woman's post, okay? Feeling like you no longer want to live the life that you are currently living has brought the kid out of retirement. But the crazy thing is, y'all, seriously, especially over the last 2 to 3 years, I've coached and trained smart, resourceful, brilliant, highly ambitious leaders in the workplace who are living the version of the life that they once prayed or dreamed about. They're at this VP level, executive level. They've got the title, the salary, and that dream or prayer came with this belief that they would feel fulfilled and it would all make sense. Life would make sense. Life would be perfect. And to be fair, parts of their lives did get a little bit better for them. But even with the wins and the title and the perks, they're sitting at a crossroad like I've been, like where you are right now. And they're having that, wait a minute, what is this? This can't be all that my life is. And I don't want to do this anymore. But I don't know what the next step is either. And so here's the thing too, before I go into these tips I want to share with you today. I was talking to my cousin, shout out to my knick-knack, and I said, I think the way most of us were taught to plan our lives is straight up backwards. Seriously, why are we asking 17-year-olds or even 21-year-olds to pick careers that they'll do for the rest of their lives before they even paid rent or bought their own laundry detergent? Why? It's kind of wild when you think about it. And even when you do follow that path that you were told to go down, you choose the major, you get the degree, you land the good job, you get the husband or the wife, you might still wake up 7 or 17 years later like me. Talk about, wait a minute, this role doesn't even align with the life I actually want. I liked this life 5 years ago. I don't like it no more. My thing is, we've been taught to choose careers, not callings. We've been taught to choose work over wellness. We've been taught to chase jobs, not problems. We were taught what to think about life, not how to think about life. And so for me, what if we flip the script? And I'm actively flipping the script with my nephew, and he's only 6 years old. But what if your life was designed in seasons, not lifelong contracts? Instead of thinking, I have to do this thing forever, what if we asked, what problem am I here to solve for this season of my life? What problem can I help people in my community solve for this season of my life? And then give ourselves full permission to pivot when that season shifts. Imagine how much guilt, shame, and internal struggle we could avoid if we simply normalized outgrowing, if we expected reinvention instead of fearing it. So I said all of that to say, if you are at that this ain't it any more moment. You don't have to burn your entire life down to begin again. You don't have to hide in shame. You don't have to be embarrassed about wanting to change. You can shift it one soulful, one bold, one baby step at a time. So knowing all of that, that we were set up with this backwards way of thinking about life, here's what actually helped me. The first thing that you have to do is redefine what success means. It's definitely not an overnight process, though. Now, for you, it's asking, what did success mean to past you? And now, what does success mean to today's you? And when you break down what success means to you, please let me be clear. I'm not here to talk about what success means to you in terms of a job, because you are more than what you do between a 9 to 5 or 4 to 12 or whatever your shift is. Your career is a chapter, not the whole damn book. Success looks like, for me, midweek choosing something that I would normally wait till the weekend to do. It's choosing to go to the beach in the morning before I start work, or midday, or going out in my garden and harvesting me some kale and beets for my summer salad during the day. For me, success is not only the tangible, it's the intangibles. It's freedom to choose my day. Now, I can't have it that way every day, y'all. But my point is, your role at a job pays you, it doesn't define you. And I think sometimes, because this is for the people who say, well, Candy, I don't really know what I want. You know what you want. I think sometimes we tell ourselves we don't know what we want. But even if you don't know what you want, you know what you don't want. So name what no longer fits without apologizing. Get clarity on what specifically feels wrong in your day. Is it your job? Is it your relationship? Is it the location where you live? Are you doing things that go against what you stand for, what feels right in your body, your soul, or your spirit? So for me, when I think back to quitting my six-figure job about 12 years ago, when I was working as a learning and communication consultant, I knew I didn't want to travel Monday through Thursday every single week. I knew I was over it. I did not want that. I also knew that while a job could tell me when to eat lunch and when to take vacation, a job could not tell me who I need to live with, because the project that I was on at the time as a consultant, the client paid for us to have corporate housing, but they had budget constraints. And so I was leading a project at the time, and they said, well, you need to share the apartment. They got me a 2-bedroom apartment. You need to share an apartment with someone on your team. I said, oh, hell no. Not the kid. And I wasn't too clear on what I wanted, but I knew what I didn't want. And so here's the thing. Whether it's a role, a routine, a city, or a relationship, outgrowing something or someone isn't betrayal, it's evolution. Well, maybe part of it is self-betrayal when you stay in it. So again, is it the work that you do? Is it the people around you? Is it the way you start and end your day? Get very specific. Clarity is going to be your superpower. Write it out. You may also realize some things need to be tweaked, not trashed. And I really think when you finally name what's got to go, it feels so freeing. Also, speaking to someone about it is so powerful, because sometimes shame thrives in secrecy. Sometimes naming it and saying, this ain't it for me anymore, rather than allowing yourself to feel miserable, allowing yourself to carry that shame, that heavy feeling in the middle of your chest. Listen, I ain't laughing at you, I'm laughing with you, because that's where I carried it, okay? In the middle of my chest. Carrying that shame around, y'all, is heavy. And it not only manifests into thoughts and actions, but just even your presence is affected. And so once you get specific, The next thing that you can do is just start with small experiments. You don't have to figure out your entire life overnight. Don't go quitting your job or ghosting your life just yet. Just start by tweaking the edges of your routine. Try something new on the evenings or the weekends. 3 years ago, I started my day with meditation. And listen, y'all, I thought my brain is just too noisy. I like to talk to myself all day, every day. Sometimes she has good thoughts, sometimes she has not so good thoughts. And so I said to myself, I got too much stuff going on for me to be able to meditate and just have my mind just still and quiet. But I started allowing myself to meditate for simply 2 minutes a day. In the morning, I would lay in my bed. Shout out to the Insight Timer because that's what helped me tremendously keep this habit. So for 1 year straight, I meditated every morning for 2 minutes. And it's nearly 3 years later. And the way I wake up and start my day today is so drastically different than 2 years ago. Y'all, your girl is out here meditating, doing yoga, boxing, and swimming. Sometimes all that happens before 10 a.m. So shout out to me for believing in me, baby, okay? And listen, at 48 years old, your girl learned how to swim. Now I'm 50. I swim 50 laps before 10 a.m. in the morning. And I am completely proud of that because at one point, I was that person saying, I don't want to wake up to this type of life anymore. I want to move differently in these streets. So it's never too late. It's never too late to change how you show up in these streets. Start small. Now, the next thing, Lord, y'all, I done lost count. I said I was sharing 6 or so things. I don't think I'm at 6 yet. But listen, follow along, okay? Follow along. I got a little surprise for you. Before we go on to my next tip, let me keep it real with you about something practical. If you're thinking about making major changes like switching careers, or even if you're married, you're thinking about a divorce, let's be real with it because people at my level, at my age, this is where we at with it. You're thinking about switching careers, relationships, what have you. You need to build a cushion, financial and emotional cushions. Most of the areas that I feel really, really pleased with, although I know I still have work, it's because I had an emotional cushion of a community to go to. But start saving money while you're still in your current situation. Even if it's just $25, $50 a week, it adds up. Even if you don't have any idea of what you're growing into, and I use the word growing very intentionally because I don't believe that you just go through things. I believe you can grow through them. But start putting your little money to the side. Start developing skills on the side. Start testing your interests. This is about creating options instead of desperation. Because here's the thing, when you're desperate, you make desperate choices. But when you have options, baby, that's when you make the powerful moves. That's when you can negotiate better. You can be selective. You can take calculated risk instead of jumping off a cliff and hoping there's water below. So yes, dream big and plan for change, but be strategic also about it. Your future self will thank you. The next thing I would tell you to do is once you start with small experiments, whether you are starting off with enrolling in a class or just expanding your interests. So for me, one of my interests was gardening and hiking. I started filling my life with more than just work. So the very next thing that I would tell you to do is to choose a problem to solve, not just a job title. Even if that's through volunteering or whatever, instead of obsessing over what role to get, ask, what problems do I care about solving right now? Is it helping an underestimated population or underserved community? Is it making work environments less toxic? Is it helping women find their voice? Once you know the problems, the job options, or I don't even want to say job options, that's another thing with this whole thing about jobs. I say commit to a mission, not a job. Because a job, especially if you're going to work for an employer, a job title can be taken from you. So you commit to the mission. So even if the job title is taken away from you, the mission still continues. You stick to the problem that you want to solve and then you go somewhere else. And yeah, I know that sounds easier said than done. I'm all about making sure that when you are moving along in these steps, you know that you are the one that's in control. So you choose a problem to solve, not just a job title. And most importantly, the next tip would be to detach from that lifetime label. You don't have to commit forever. Just give yourself a 2 to 5 year assignment. This season, I'm focused on this mission. After that, I'll reevaluate this mission or this season that I'm in. And here's the thing, this mindset gives you so much freedom and structure because the only thing that is constant in this lifetime is change. So get into it. You might as well just embrace this reinvention and reevaluation as a necessary part of your life. And you get to choose when you can do that. And here's something that might sound weird, but was game changing for me. Get some friends in your head. Friends in my head. I got that from Wendy Williams. She would say, this celebrity is a friend of my head, and this person is a friend of my head. And so I'm serious. Get you some friends in your head. People that you can follow, like me. I got people on the YouTube streets or Instagram or Threads. I borrow hope and blueprints from them. And so even just 3 weeks ago, y'all, I went down this YouTube rabbit hole of watching people who've given up their lives in the United States and they've relocated to Thailand and Ghana, Kenya, and Bali and China, just different places around the world because they got tired of the rat race and the hustle. Some of them were single, many of them had families. One of them in particular, I watched them. They had a family of 5. Another had a family of 7 and 9. I watched a family living on a sailboat, a single girl who went to live off the grid and built her own house from a shed. But anywho, while I'm not the living off the grid type, it expanded my mindset about what's possible for me. My point is, when you see other people's possibilities, it cracks open your own. It lets you know that you're not fully stuck. Listen, I love my family tremendously. I'm a family girl. So while I can't see me relocating to another country this year or maybe even the next, child, listen, my options are endless because I'm not about this rat race. It's just too much for me at this point. But that's a podcast for another day. We're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about you. Anywho, borrow hope and blueprints from other people. My coach, Cody, shout out to Cody. He said one time, we're not self-made, we're community made. And I absolutely agree. The power of being a part of a community is that you can borrow hope and blueprint from other people who are living lives that you would like to lead in some way or another, even if it's just living in their thought process and how they think about things. You find people who are living a life that lights you up, not to copy them, but to remind yourself of what's possible. Joining an online community, DMing someone and asking them about their experiences, listening to their journey. You'll get both inspiration and strategy for your next move. It's been about 12 years now since I've left corporate America. Funny thing is, corporate America mainly is my client right now, but I decided to start my training, learning, and development company. And the thing is, when I left corporate, I didn't have an online presence, so I started writing a blog. And there was one blog post where I talked about quitting my job, and that article blew up. I had received the most traffic and engagement and comments and all the things. And I talked about why I quit and some of how I did it and money I saved and all the things. But anywho, that post started to get a lot of people asking me to be on their podcast, and articles was even published in Forbes. People borrowed hope from me. People reached out to hire me. And I think that it's so important to recognize that life is not a solo sport, people. You need help. Sometimes you need hope. You need a blueprint, and that's okay. And so that's why I think it's so important to recognize that when life feels too heavy, it's usually because you're carrying the truth alone. And talking about it doesn't make you weak, it makes you ready. Half the battle is saying it out loud. So find you a therapist, a coach, a friend, a support space that you can hold your honesty without trying to fix it right away. I'm here to tell you that learning how to recognize what's no longer working for me and just creating those small opportunities for myself, those small changes in my daily habits to show up differently has led me to the most beautiful place that I'm in right now. And it doesn't mean I don't have bad days. I had a few bad days last week. It's that life be lifing. And I know how to wiggle my way out of it. And so I want to share this with you. One, if this episode hits home for you, don't just listen and nod your head like, girl, yeah, clear, you hitting it. Join me for a free 7-day reset challenge. So here's the thing. I'm going to use this podcast to share my audio messages no more than 15 minutes a day, where I'll hit you with one mindset shift and one small challenge that you can do to help you get unstuck. You'll also receive a journaling prompt to help you realign, to help you reimagine your life. And here's the thing, this isn't about productivity, it's about giving yourself permission to reset without guilt. And so if you'd like to receive the journal prompts so you can write things out, join my email list. I'll include the link in the show notes. But most importantly, please take note. You're not flaky for changing. You're not lost for questioning. You're just growing. And most people don't know how to honor that because they were never taught how. This isn't a crisis. It's a crossroads for you. And you get to choose which route is best at the moment. And let me be clear when I say this, the word best is temporary. What may be best for you today may not be best for you a few months from now. That's okay. You're going to figure it out. We're giving ourselves permission to change our minds. I'm so super thrilled, y'all, to be back running my mouth on this podcast. So leave me a good word or share this episode with someone who you believe it may help. So y'all leave me a good word. Share this episode with someone. So here's the thing. Y'all leave me a good word or share this episode with someone who you believe it may help. Talk soon.